Okay, today we're looking at lesson 2.4. This is writing linear equations. Last Thursday we talked about what is a function, what is a relation. On Monday we identified linear functions and linear relations. Yesterday we talked about the slope of a line and how to find that. Today we're actually going to write the equations. Now you're going to have two pieces of information. The first piece of information that you might be given a slope and a point on the line. All right? And then the other thing that they might do to you is just give you 2 points. From that you can find the slope because I taught you how to do that yesterday. Or they may ask for an equation of a line that's parallel or perpendicular to a given line. All right, past skills, and let's get started here. Do you remember slope-intercept form of an equation? You don't? Well, I'll put it up here for you then. Okay, slope-intercept form of an equation is basically y equals mx plus b. You covered that back in algebra. You did it quite a bit, as a matter of fact, in algebra. Do you remember doing that? Okay. Now, what the purpose of that is that if I have something real simple, like they give me a graph or some equations, something like that, they give me, but if this thing has, let's say that I know it's going through this point right there, and I'm just going to make up a number for this point. Let's say it's 0, 2. All right? And let's say that they tell us that the slope on this thing is 2/3. Once again, I'm just making up numbers here so you'll see what's going on. All right? If I have a point that's an intercept here, and I've got the slope on that thing, it's easy to write the equation. Just plug everything in. All right? Y equals m, which is the slope, x plus the y-intercept. And if that were the information for that line, right there's the equation for it. So the first thing we're going to practice on is how to write an equation when you've got the slope and you've got the y-intercept. All right? So here's my example for you. This line right there, it contains 2 points. What's special about one of those points? Okay, it's on the y line. What about it on the y line that's special? It is -3. I forgot to put the negative there. I'll fix that right now. Right there. Okay, that's better. But what's special about that point, 0, -3? Okay, it is the y-intercept. Perfect. All right? So now I know what b is. B is that number, -3. Okay. Now the only other thing I need in order to write an equation is I need to find the slope. We did that yesterday. You rise, 1, 2, 3, 4. Your rise is 4. Your run, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Your run is 5. Rise over run, 4/5. Is that
Oh, I don't get that. How did you get 4/5?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Why did you?
That's the rise.
Okay.
Okay. The run is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. That's yesterday's lesson. You need to review that lesson. Okay.
Can you give me the?
Yeah. Go to my webpage where you'll find this video, and I'll put the information on there for you as far as on the board so you can find it. Okay. All right. Back to this. Now I've got my y-intercept, I've got my slope. All I need now is to write the equation. Very simple. Y equals m x. Now, instead of saying plus -3, what will I put? -3.
That's our answer.
That is the equation for that line.
Will we have to solve it?
You can't solve it. You got 2 variables. Any other questions? All right. I want you to do number 7 on your paper. I'm coming by to check to see if you get it correct. All right. Now, sometimes you don't have the useful information such as what the y-intercept is. It's not given to you. It's not in the picture. As a matter of fact, sometimes you're looking at it and you can see that the line's crossing, such as this one, at a point that's not at an intersection. Not easy to find. Okay? We might be able to guess what it is, but chances are we'd not get that right. So what we got to do, we got to have another tool to use. And that's where this tool right here comes in. This is called the point-slope form of an equation. It's on the back of your paper if you forget. All right? The point-slope form of an equation uses a point and the slope. Now, slope's not a big deal. We've already talked about that. We've done that quite a bit. You can see right here, there's your slope. Now, the other part is the point. If you have a point, then your y number is going to go right here. Your x number is going to go right here. Once again, there's the whole thing. Let me show you how this works. Now, the problem with this is that it's going to involve more work than the previous ones of just plugging numbers in. It involves a little bit of math, a little bit of arithmetic going in there. But let's direct our attention to this one. Step one, I look for points that I know for a fact. Now, on your paper, if you've got a graph, they're going to give you points I do believe, don't they? Because you've got to know the points for sure. Now mine, I've taken and I've made this one of the points right there. And that point is located at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. That's negative 6. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That point's located at negative 6, 7. Now, for our purposes here, to calculate the slope, I've got to use some other point that I know is on there. I put that point on there. All right, so now what I have, I'm going to find my slope. My rise is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. My run is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so what information do I have? I have a point. That point is negative 6, 7. I have the slope. That slope is negative 7 fifths. Oops, upside down. Negative 7 fifths. All right? Now I'm going to use the point-slope form of my equation. I'm just going to plug stuff in. Refresh your memory on this. The point-slope form is the variable y minus the y number from your set of numbers up here equals the slope times your x, the variable x, minus the x number from your ordered pair up there. Now just plugging stuff in. Y minus my y number, which is 7, equals my slope, which is negative 7 fifths, times x minus my x number, which is negative 6. So I'm going to do plus 6. I just plug numbers in. All right? Good enough? Now we've got to work with it. This is where the work comes in. All right? We're going to have to take this, and we're going to have to work with it until we've got it in slope-intercept form. So, do you want to work with fractions, or do you want to clear fractions away?
Clear them.
You want to clear them away. All right, not a problem. So what I'm going to do here, give me just 1 second. Let me give myself just a touch more room here on this one. Okay. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to multiply everything by 5 to get rid of that 5 in the denominator. All right? I'm going to multiply the front by 5. I'm going to multiply this back by 5. Okay?
Why 5?
Because the bottom number right here
Oh,
is a 5.
I thought that was.
All right. Now, go ahead and do that. On the front, we'll do 5 times y is 5y. 5 times negative 7 is minus 35. On the back, multiplying by 5 is going to do this. This 5 and this 5 will cancel. All right? So what I really have on the back is just negative 7 times x, negative 7 times 6. All right, I've cleared out fractions. Fractions are gone. Okay? All right, now then, I'm going to get y over here all by itself. So I need to move off my negative 35. So let's go ahead and add 35 to both sides. Okay, so those are gone. That's going to give me a 5y over here equals negative 7x. And what was that, negative 7? Now divide everything by 5. Dividing the y by 5 just gives me a y. Dividing negative 7x by 5 gives me negative 7/5 x. And dividing 7 by 5 once again gives me 7/5. That's the answer. Somebody with a calculator takes 7 and divide it by 5. Convert it to a decimal. 1 point what? 1.4? Okay. So they're saying right here that our y-intercept is negative 1.4. Doesn't it look like that's down there almost halfway between the negative 1 and the negative 2? All right, we wouldn't have known it was negative 1.4 unless we did pure mathematics of it. Okay? All right, now, would you like to see a way that doesn't involve so much work? Raise your hand if you'd like to see a way that doesn't involve so much work. Okay, all right. This one is a bit different. I'm going to do the same math problem, the same one, with all the same stuff, except I'm going to use a different method here. And once again, if you like the second method better, you can look it up on the YouTube to remember how to do it, and that's going to be all good. Let me get rid of this stuff.
I'm going to be a teacher when I grow up, and I'm going to be so happy to get one, get a board like that.
Yeah, well, they'll probably have something different, like holographic boards and stuff then. Okay, I got it all cleaned up here. All right, now watch this, because this one is not on your worksheet. This one's not on your worksheet. Same type of problem, but this method, the method's not on your worksheet. All right, y equals mx plus b. Okay. When I look over here on this, I can see, let me grab this little arrow here. I'm going to use this arrow. I like that. I can see I've got an x right here. I've got a y right there. I've got an m right here. What's the only thing that I don't have for this? I don't have a b. Well, if I've got 3 out of 4, I can figure out. What that last thing is. So check this out. I'm just going to put everything in that thing over there. I'm going to put the 7 in for y. I'm going to put the negative 7/5 in for m. I'm going to put the negative 6 in for x. I'm missing b, aren't I? All right, not a problem. We can solve this thing. All right, follow along. We're going to move fast. What is, not that, what is negative 7 times negative 6? All right, so that's 42 fifths. In order to subtract from that side, this 7 is going to have to be in terms of fifths also. What's 7 times 5? 35. This is 35 fifths. Now we're ready to subtract 42 fifths from 35 fifths. All right, negative 7 fifths. Ladies and gentlemen, that is B. If you take a look at this now, right here you can see negative 7 fifths, negative 7 fifths. I already had the slope. So it'd be just like going back. Once I figure out what B is, it'd be just like going back to the first exercises today. I could plug the slope in right here, negative 7 fifths, x, and then minus 7 fifths. Problem's done. But what's involved? What's this involve? This problem. What's that problem involve? That you don't like to have fractions. Is it easier? This looks harder right there.
That's easier.
Yeah, that's easier. That's much easier because you've got like 3 steps and you're done. Learn how to do fractions and make your life easier. All right? Okay, let's pause. Okay. Now, one last thing. You will be asked to write equations of lines that are either parallel or perpendicular to a given line. They will either tell you what the equation is, or they'll give you a picture of the equation, or a picture of the line. Remember from geometry, parallel lines. If the lines are parallel, then they will have the same slope. For example, I've got 2x there, my slope is 2. I've got 2x there, my slope is 2. So parallel lines have the same slope. Perpendicular lines. Remember, lines that meet at 90-degree angles such as that. Perpendicular lines, this slope is 3. That one's negative 1/3. How is 3 and negative 1/3 related? They make a 90-degree angle. They're what we call opposite reciprocals.
Oh, so it's 3 on top, 1 on the
Yep.
bottom. Oh, 1 on top, 3 on the bottom.
Exactly. So if I had something like this, let's just say, for example, that I had a slope that was 4/3. All right? What kind of slope would be parallel to that slope?
4/3.
4/3. Okay? What kind of slope would be perpendicular to that slope?
3/4.
Negative 3/4. It's got to be the opposite, okay? One's got to be positive, one's got to be negative. All right? Excuse me. Okay, so let's take you through one right here. All right, write an equation in slope-intercept form for the line that passes through 3, -2, and is perpendicular to the line whose equation is y equals -5x plus 1. What is perpendicular to this slope?
Positive 5x. No, negative 5x. Yeah.
Okay, this slope right here is -5. For a perpendicular slope,
Oh, yeah.
what would it be?
Negative
1/5. 1/5.
Positive 1/5.
That's right. Okay? Questions?
Okay.
All right. Now, I've got the slope. I've got a point. I'm ready to write the equation. Well, I need to find b. I'm just going to use the fraction shortcut and make life easy for us all. Remember, use y equals mx plus b. I'm going to find b. I've got my y. It's a -2. I've got my m. It's a 1/5. I've got my x. It's a 3. All right? What's 1/5 times 3? 1/5 times 3. What's 1 times 3?
1 times 3 is 3.
Thank you. So what's 1/5 times 3?
1/5 times 3 is, I don't know.
3/5.
Oh, yeah.
3/5.
Oh, that's
Change -2 in terms of fifths. 2 times 5 is what? That's -10 fifths. What's -10 minus 3? -13 fifths. All right, I've got my slope. I've got my y-intercept. I've got an equation now. Y equals -5x minus 13/5. Okay, that's exactly, once you've,
y means 5.
pardon me?
Y means 5.
You're right, it's not minus 5. Thank you. It's 1/5. Appreciate that. I was just making sure you're paying attention. All right. Questions?
Yes.
All right, let me pause this.